I have been going through something, and it's about time we talk about it. Hi. I am not going to do my normal intro, because this is not a normal video. So about 3 months ago, I went through a very interesting breakup. The clips that you guys are about to see, I originally filmed for myself. I have a really hard time writing down emotions, writing down thoughts, things like that. And for me, I normally record like audio, and I was like, you know what? Let's record a video. I need to be able to look back on this, reflect, understand where I was, think about the things that I'm saying, what I'm feeling, and go from there. So originally I was not going to share this with you guys. I kept coming up with ways to try to sort of address it, but not really address it. But I thought that this is the best and most transparent way to go about it. If you are currently going through a breakup, if it's new, if it's fresh, if it's not, I hope that while watching this honest, raw feelings, that you will be able to understand not only that you're not alone, but that those feelings pass. Those things change. I am definitely very different from this first clip that you guys will see until today. And yeah, so here is my 3-month process.
Nobody expects a breakup, or not in the sense of, nobody's planning a breakup in the midst of getting into a relationship.
That's scary, because it's like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in this house all by myself. And I don't want to, like, try to be friends with him just to fix that, but I thought I was fine. Oh, I thought I was fine.
You're fine. That's okay. That's understandable.
It's the day after everything. My eyes are really red and puffy still. I think one thing that I'm really holding on to is, like, if you really love something, you'll let it go, and if it's meant for you, it'll come back. If not, it's done. Trevon's trying to cheer me up. And so we're supposed to be going to the science center with some friends. The red pandas just got released. They had some babies not too long ago. So I am gonna go see those. I'm trying. It is August 23rd. Today's been really hard. Like, really hard. I feel like this whole month has just flown by. I mean, all of this kind of started beginning of the month, and I feel like coming into September that it's just gonna be completely done, and kind of dealing with the grasp of, like, 3 years of my life. And then, like, this home that I had started to build with someone else, it's just really hard to process. But I'm working on my therapy homework for today. I have been having a lot of what I assumed was general anxiety. I do suffer from general anxiety, but it is pretty well managed and controlled. It's something that I have dealt with for almost 10 years now. So I thought it was just general, but my therapist was like, I want you to think about a couple of things. And she was like, I want you to think about the concept of being alone as a person, but also, like, in your space. So I thought I'd mention a few of the words that come to mind when I think about how I feel alone. I said I felt abandoned. I said I felt like there was no hope in the situation. Scared or unsafe. Sad. And then I wrote the opposite of claustrophobic. I feel like one of the things that really has gotten to me in this situation is like the concepts of space. Like, everything feels so huge right now. Like, this apartment feels huge, just like empty, and time, I feel like as I'm going through my work day or I'm going through my night, the time just like feels like forever. And I don't feel like rushed, I don't feel claustrophobic, I feel everything seems so huge and so big, and that's so difficult to deal with. And I feel like I'm crying, and I literally have not cried for days. I've been so stoic, I've been so like get her done, you know. I'm working on planning my best friend's bachelor party, you know, and I'm like, nothing else needs to matter but that. But it's I don't know, I feel so overwhelmed. So I guess some of the things that I'm trying to work on with feeling that space and removing that alone symptom is reaching out to people. I think is probably the hardest thing for me when I'm in a situation where I feel emotionally overwhelmed, or I feel hurt or depressed or too anxious. I isolate myself, because I've always been that friend who's like, I'm a strong girly, like I support you. So I tend to isolate myself, and so I'm trying to be really strict on myself and making my friends be strict on me as well. Changing furniture, changing things in the house, starting to try to make it feel less big. Those are like some of the things that I've been thinking about, and I feel like, I think what gets me the most is like, my therapist asked me to create a timeline. She's like, I can do it every year, every 5 years, however I want, and I want you to tell me like a special thing you'd like to see during that time period. And it's like, I don't know, like outside of YouTube, I've gotten to the point that like my goals in life are marriage and children and you know, buying a home for my dog. Like, I've gotten to that point where I'm like, I'm ready to be settled, and it's hard thinking about the future in that way when your concept of that is completely gone. I don't know. It is 12:30, midnight, like the next day, or I guess the next day. So it's been officially 20 days since all this started, since we started debating or talking about going on a break. And tonight, we are officially broken up. I'm oddly calm. Like, I haven't cried. I've known this answer since 11. And I've just kind of been here. And I can't tell if I'm like numb because I'm exhausted from the fact that this has been 20 days. Or if it's like protection standpoint, I'm like hold it in, or like, or if I'm just like exhausted from being so emotional. I don't know. It really sucks. Like, this isn't what I wanted for us. But you can't fix people, so it is what it is. I am about to go watch Blue Beetle and just hang out with some old friends and Trey. But I just want to, like, I just made a short about this a few minutes ago, and I think it's been allowing me to really, like, smile. I had seen a TikTok, well, I'd seen a reel the other day, and they were like, the concept of season 3, like, this girl and her friends, they're always like, when things go bad, they're like, of course, it's season 3. And the concept is, like, season 3 is when everything goes wrong. When the main couple breaks up, when someone loses their job, when there's an argument or a fight in the family, and it's like, oh, we don't know what we're gonna do. In weird shows like sci-fi's, it tends to be when, you know, we're seeing random stuff start to happen where you're like, what does this have to do with anything? And shows where it's more action-based. It's really like where you thought everything was going to be okay, but it's not. There's a little plot twist sometimes. And they were saying, like, you know, season 3, everything wild happens, but it works out in the end. And for me, I heard that and I was like, it's for the plot. I feel like that's my whole motto right now. Like, it's for the plot. Like, this is all happening, but at the end of the day, it's to make a better season. It's to make a better show. It's to make a better finale when that show is done. Like, it's for the plot. And I don't know. I'm scared because I am in such a good mood. I'm like, am I in a good mood right now? Because I'm kind of like masking and going through the process, or am I fine? And I've like fully processed everything. I mean, it's hard. I'm losing literally one of my very best friends. But at the same time, it's like, I know I'm going to be okay. And I know I probably might not feel this way in a couple of weeks. But right now, I have to just stand on the fact that it's for the plot.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm mildly worried about myself, but I'm okay.
Alright. So, what are the worries? Same worries from before?
Yeah, I think I'm like more back and forth has happened, and I still have not like reacted in much of an emotional manner. I've gotten angry at different times, but like I haven't cried, and that's very not normal for me. Like I've cried, of course, earlier in the month, but like I feel like, I don't know, I just haven't cried, and it feels very weird that I haven't cried, and I don't feel like I'm intentionally not crying, but I also think that I'm stressing myself out by focusing on the fact that I'm not crying. But I also don't want to like, I don't want things to hit me later, or like that's like, I kind of want to just be done with feeling everything, but I don't want to pretend to be done. Does that make sense? I worry, I guess, more over that like the delusion of everything just eventually being okay is there, because I feel like, so like we're officially broken up now, like completely broken up. So I feel like the weeks before that, when everything was kind of normal and it was just like whatever is happening, I feel like that put my brain out of like the emotional standpoint of things, where I'm like, okay, this sucks, I'm crying, I'm upset, I am also angry. I feel like I was like attempting to grieve, and then I feel like when things felt normal, and I think that like delusion of like things are gonna work out fine and everything's gonna be okay was existing, that I put that aside, and every time I saw something that I didn't like or looked like it was going towards not going back together or getting in the right direction, I kind of didn't react to it. And so I feel like I kind of stayed in that path. I think it also doesn't help that he doesn't move out until next Tuesday, and I don't know if like that's gonna be the thing that pulls me out of that. I think whatever provides the most amount of overall sanity, like not just right now, but like also in the future, is whatever I should be doing. I think I expected myself to be falling apart and crying for like a week or two and then be somewhat fine. You know, of course not okay, but like I expected the complete like emotional explosion of like crying. Like I would say I'm still not eating the best, and I think that just has a lot to do with like my body trying to catch back up into that process. But like I've been sleeping fine. Like I was expecting that, like not being able to sleep, not being able to eat, crying a bunch, like that type of reaction. And I'm not saying that that's what I think I should be doing, because I don't know what is like the best course of action to avoid the most like damage, or avoid the most like, I don't know, like hurt or pain or any of those things.
So what emotions would you say that you overall are feeling?
I think at times I'm feeling anger. I think at times I'm feeling frustration. There's times that I just don't feel anything towards the situation, and it's just kind of like, it's something that's happening.
It has been a week since he moved out. I've honestly been really good. Like, I've been good. I mean, I've, of course, in and out, cried a little bit, start to kind of go through that process of like, what if I had done this? What if this was different? What if at this moment I said this instead of saying that? You start to go through that kind of damage control process where you really start to hyperfixate on, you know, what could have been different. I think that's really what I'm working through right now, is trying to realize there is nothing to fix. What has happened, and I kind of have to deal with that. I think otherwise I've been doing really well. I have an amazing support system. A really amazing support system. I've been pretty much surrounded by my friends a lot. I think I'm even learning to appreciate those kind of more solitary moments where I am to myself. I don't know. It's been weird. It's like I spent every day of my life with someone for 3 years straight, and now like they're just completely not there. And sometimes I question if it's like I'm processing this as like, oh, he's coming home later, or oh, he's on vacation, because I am a lot calmer than I thought I would be. But I don't know. I'm thankful I still have a really good relationship, it seems, with his mom and his sister, and they've been very supportive and helpful and wonderful during this time. I'm just taking it day by day. I went back to filming. I'm actually in the middle of filming a vlog now, and it's definitely a different pace. Like, it's good to be laughing and joking and moving around with my friends, as opposed to kind of just letting everything wallow and sit in. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the best mood, but I'm definitely not in the worst. And I know these things take time, and I know that I might be completely okay right now, and like in a couple of weeks or so I'm gonna just be falling apart and crying. I think my biggest fear is like I'm about to be go for like the next 8 weeks, and I don't know if that's gonna be a healthy distraction or an unhealthy distraction, because I have a bachelor party this weekend, and then like a week of kind of a pause, and then VidCon, and then this, and then that, and then wedding, and then this and that. There's so much going on like in the month of October and the end of September that I don't think I'll really have time to stop and think. And that scares me a little bit too. Yeah. September 20th. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my worst fear has slowly came true. Like, I was just so fine and happy, and everything was so great, and I've just had like the hardest time the last couple of days. And like, directly, it has nothing to do with him. I've just been feeling like such a depressive wave, and it's been like 3 days of like me not waking up really, which is crazy, because I'm very much so like, if you're on time, you're late, like type person. And like not being able to go to bed and to get sleep, and then like me just realizing I'm disassociating for hours. And it's been really great because like my friends have been around. I've been working out with Alyssa for like 2 or 3 days out of the week before this situation, but I just feel like, I don't know, dude, like it's just, I'm so unmotivated. And
It's like I get around people and I know how to like put the face on and smile and laugh and do all of that, but it's like my house is a mess. Like, it's not a mess, it's me a mess. Like, there's clothes everywhere, and like I haven't done my dishes, and those are my things. Like, that's how you know, because I want to clean up. Like, I'm not going to leave a mess, but those types of things, I don't like laundry or dishes. And so it's just been like, I come home, I go to the gym, maybe I hang out a little bit, like if Alyssa's here, like early in the week, my friends came over, Trey and Nick and Alyssa, they were all here, and we all just hung out. But like, I've just been zoning out so much. And I feel it at work too. Like, I feel like my work has really slowed down. I don't know. Oh, I'm about to hop on therapy and, I don't know, express my concerns. But yeah, it's also almost been a month. I keep thinking, like, ooh, VidCon's coming up. Like, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so great. And I'm like, oh my god, it's almost been, I mean, not a month, it's almost been 2 months since all of this started. And I keep thinking, like, ooh, VidCon, and like, I'm so excited for VidCon. I'm like, oh my god, October? Like, I don't remember August at all, because it was just so bad. It was so bad. And it's almost October, because VidCon's almost here. I am excited about that. I think that's the thing that, like, I keep pushing towards. I'm like, yeah, it sucks, everything sucks, but, like, VidCon. But, like, VidCon.
So the last clip that you all just watched is my final large breakdown. I feel like I've had a lot of heavy emotional time periods since then. My biggest struggle has been adjusting to living by myself again. When you live with someone for almost 3 years, you get into certain routines, thought processes, but it's been a pleasant adjustment. I'm really just like not feeling rushed, having my own time frames, trying to figure out what I want to do. So it's been really great. I'm in a very great place mentally and emotionally. I think the fact that I had already started therapy and I already started going to the gym before all of this happened has made a huge impact on how this process has went through. I really dove myself heavily into the gym. On days when I did not want to get out of bed, I didn't want to do anything, I was like, you know what? Let me go walk to the gym. Let me go do this. Let me go walk the dog. So that active lifestyle end of things has really, like, helped me work through this process. I also have amazing friends. I have absolutely amazing friends. There is not a moment or a time that has went by throughout this whole process that I cannot say that my friends have not been there with me hand in hand, whether it's holding me as I cry the initial nights of certain situations or talking things through when I was going through a self-blame stage. 100% I have great friends. Advice-wise, if you are currently going through a breakup, I would say to you to have faith and hope that this too will pass. You have lived your entire life up until the time that you met this person without them. So you will be able to continue to live your life without them. This isn't the end of you. That person isn't who you are. They were just a part of a time and moment in your life, and you will get through this. So that's the first thing I want to say. Outside of that, really try to start finding a routine and hobbies and things that you like. If you have been doing the same things, like living in the same space, going to the same job, having the same friends since before your breakup, this is a lot easier. And I will say I can admit that, like, I've noticed this breakup has been a lot easier to readjust from than previous ones, because a lot of my friends are my friends. I don't have intermingled friendships. We no longer worked together, so I don't have that intermingled. I've lived in the same area prior to the relationship. So there's a lot of, like, things that I'm very thankful for that made this easy. But if not, try to put things in place that are just for you. Like, oh, these are my friends. These are not our friends. Spend time with them. And even if it is joint friends, finding time to spend time with them and letting them know, hey, I don't want to talk about him or her. I don't want to deal with that. I want to be able to move on. I definitely think that the gym is a great thing for mental health in general, whether you're going through a breakup, whether you have depression bouts, whether you have anxiety, whatever it may be. I have a lot of different things that I am working through in therapy to begin with. Definitely seasonal depression is a huge issue that I deal with, and I think it was my biggest fear with this situation happening so close towards winter. But I am thankful that I've been able to process and heal through it before we even get to winter, so I can kind of deal with that on its own and deal with it as a simple thing. But also just being self-aware and letting yourself have emotions. I think my biggest issue and problem has always been, like, I try so hard, so hard to, like, be like, okay, this hurts, this isn't great, but, like, I gotta keep going. And I do this with everything in life. Anytime I have strong emotions, it's like, great, you know what? This isn't great, but you gotta pick yourself up and you have to go to work. You have to go to school. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I think that Barbie quote where, like, kind of America is going through the point of talking about, like, a woman's role and how we have to do all this stuff and keep a smile on our face and we have to be pretty but not too pretty and all these other things. I think that is really my soul core mindset, and I'm trying to break that down and work on allowing myself to be emotional, allowing myself to, you know, not be put together all the time. I used to not wear sweatpants out of the house. This is so unrelated, but, like, that type of behavior when it comes to something so emotional and breaking like this, you get so self-critical, you get so self-judgmental and all this other kind of stuff, and it's just not healthy. So really creating that space to allow yourself to be emotional and a human, it didn't hurt. You know, a relationship is a loss. It's something to be grieved. You're going to go through all of those stages, and to give yourself grace to go through that. Lastly, I would give the advice of, don't blame yourself. I don't care if it is your fault. I don't care if you were the actual cause. Like, if you caused the issue, if you caused the problem. There is always something in a relationship where if it's not working, it is not just your fault. Now, you need to acknowledge the things that you've done wrong. If you've caused physical harm, if you've cheated, if you caused any kind of emotional or mental harm that was intentional, you do need to acknowledge that and work on that. And at some point, if your partner or former partner is okay with accepting an apology, then yes, you need to do that. But do not blame any and everything on yourself. I think that has been my greatest surprise, I guess. I was in a very, like, oh, if I did this, or if I did that, if I moved this differently, if I said that differently, and this, that, and the other, like, going through the multiverse and the 100 different ways, and what happened, and as much as I would like to believe that there are parallel universes and that things can intersect, this is probably a canon event, you know? This is supposed to happen, and it's already happened, so accept it, move on, deal with it, and deal with you right now. Like, what you could have, should have, would have done does not matter. And so I had to work through that with myself because I was applying a lot of guilt in those should, coulda, wouldas. That was not healthy, not helpful, not doing anything to move me forward. And as soon as I stopped doing that, I think I realized there were a lot of things that I was blind to in my relationship that weren't good, that wasn't healthy. I acted a lot in unconditional love in this situation. And sometimes that caused me to, like, not see things that I should have saw and should have been like, you know what? Not great. Red flag. Or, you know what? Shouldn't tolerate this. You shouldn't deal with this. So really take that time to pull that blame away and look at everything as a totality. I have no disdain or hate or anything in my heart towards my ex. I really just think that we allowed ourselves to get to a point where we really shouldn't have been together, most likely, and we continued forward thinking that things would work through. But people have to be willing on both sides to change, and if that doesn't happen, there's no moving forward. It's just constant stalemate. And so, yeah, I am doing great. I am still single. Just joking. But no, I am. That part's not a joke, but I was saying that, like, hey, but no. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, please. But no, I am still single. Really just embracing the moments of silence in my home, embracing the moments of being able to like have my friends over at odd hours. Like me and my friend Alyssa, like last month or at the beginning of this month, we painted pumpkins and like stayed up super late watching scary movies. And it's like, I don't have a roommate, I don't have a significant other here, I don't have to think about anybody else but me and her. And those moments are so great. And I think I have not had a lot of adult moments like that where it's just like, let's just all hang out and like do this and do that. So I've been really embracing those moments, and really just learning life, you know, as in a different lens. I think I am a very like, I don't pay attention to people around me type person. And I'm getting put in situations where I am having to interact with people more, and you know, having people come up to me and talk to me and things like that, because I'm a little bit more softer in my approach physically with people around me. So it's really been a really interesting learning experience. But yeah, again, if you are currently going through a breakup and you are watching this, I just want you to hold strong. And really, like I said, my biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is that all that hurt and that pain that you're feeling, it will go away. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to say it's going to happen next week. I'm not saying it's going to happen next month. It might not even happen next year. I mean, I have gone through previous breakups where I spent years, and I mean years, having the hardest time getting past it and getting over it and working through it. And those types of breakups are really difficult. And it's not, you know, everything's easier said than done in that situation. It's like, oh, work through it, work through your emotions, do this, do that. And yeah, that's all great and dandy, but when you have done that and you've went through that, that's a lot. So, by no means am I minimizing if you're going through something that is going to take a little bit longer, but you just have to give yourself that space to feel all those emotions and understand that if you feel like you are over it and then something comes up later and it causes you to feel some type of way, it is totally okay. That is all that I wanted to say. Let me know how you all feel about this video if you watch my videos normally. This is something very personal and random and raw that I do not normally do. But I definitely just want it to be transparent. It's also like, I think I had a lot of people that had reached out to me during my break, and I'm crying because I appreciate you guys, that don't know me personally, but were concerned because I had previously taken a break before for medical reasons. And so I had about 3 or 4 Instagram messages. And so I just very thankful for the care that you guys are giving towards me. But I had 3 or 4 Instagram messages like, are you okay? Are you healthy? Are you fine? And so I did want to, at some point, explain my random absences. But yeah, that is what's been going on. Overall, this month has been hectic too. I just want to throw that out there. I went to VidCon. If you haven't watched that video and you want something to smile about after watching this sadness, go watch that. My best friend also got married literally like 2 days ago from when I'm wrapping this video up. And then, you know, I have also just been in and out with friends coming in from out of town, things like that. So I am getting back on track, getting back into making videos and schedules. So I am just very thankful for your patience. And guys, we're like roughly like a month away from Vlogmas. I'm just scared. Let's hope we get to actually complete Vlogmas this year. Here's hoping that every single day is actually able to be completed and that I stay in the best health possible. I know that that'll be the case. I'm taking a lot of precautions and like actions to be so. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good rest of your day.